Hi everyone, in today's video we are going over appropriate warm-up and cool-down stretching protocols that I encourage you to do with every ride and workout. It is so important to remember to add a couple minutes to your routine to do a proper warm-up because it will help to prepare your body for activity. A warm-up will gradually ramp up your cardiovascular system by increasing your heart rate, your body temperature, and improving blood flow to the muscles. Ultimately, the goal of all of this is to warm up our muscles enough and improve joint mobility so that we lessen the chance for any strains or injuries. We also want to optimize our own body's movement so that we can help to optimize our horse's movement. A few things to consider: we tend to do dynamic exercises in the warm-up and then passive stretching in the cool down, and I will explain this a little bit later. We also want our warm-up to happen right before our workout. And lastly, we want our warm-up to target muscle groups that are important for our activity. So conveniently, I have already done that for equestrians, which is probably why you are watching this video. Before we get started, I just wanted to speak more directly to some of the para-athletes. All of our bodies are so different, so if you see some exercises that you're unable to do, that's okay. Just do the ones that you can do, and I will try to provide some modifications at the end, so hopefully you can do as many as possible. Okay, so we're gonna start at the neck and work our way down the body. This first exercise, you can do sitting or standing, whatever is most convenient for you. So you're just gonna bring your ear to your shoulder. You're gonna roll your chin down towards your chest and then bring your other ear to your other shoulder. And we're just going back and forth in this motion to help warm up our neck, get it moving a bit better since this does tend to get stiff in riders. Okay, our next exercise are going to be arm swings. So you're just going to make big circles going backwards with your arms. I tend to go backwards because I find it helps to improve our posture. It will open up some of our chest muscles and help pull our shoulders back into a good posture that we want them in. Okay, now we have quite a few exercises for our hips. We need our hips to be super supple while we're riding to help absorb some of the forces that are coming through our bodies. So first one, you're gonna start with slow and small movements, and then you're gonna build up in speed and intensity. Okay, you should already feel your heart rate and respiratory rate increasing a little bit, and that's good. That is what we want to happen. The next one is going to focus on hip rotations. If you need to hold on to something for this one to help with your balance, that's okay. So first, you're going to think about bringing your knee forward, out to the side, and then behind you. And then the opposite way. So you're going to go behind, out to the side, and forward. For this one, we're going to get into a deep squat, use up our ankle, knee, and hip range of motion. If you can't get this low into a squat, that is fine. Just work with whatever range you have available. You're going to grab your toes, and all you do is lift your bum up towards the ceiling, straightening your legs as much as possible until you feel a gentle pull through the hamstring muscles. Our last exercise is a fantastic combination exercise. It's going to target a whole bunch of things. Okay, you're going to come down into a forward lunge. So automatically, if we tuck our pelvis under, we're going to get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch. You're going to add a twist and then a side bend. So we're helping to get some of our cross-body coordination going as well. If you come out of that position, your back heel is going to go on the ground. You're going to get a little bit of a calf stretch. Then we're just going between those two positions. Cooling down after workout allows for a gradual recovery to baseline heart rate, blood pressure, and body temperature. Now is the time to do stretches with prolonged holds to help increase the flexibility of our muscles. Our first stretch is going to be a hamstring stretch. I put both legs straight out, keep my toes up towards me just to get a bit more of a stretch. You're going to keep your back straight and just try and hinge forward at the hips in order to get a pull through the back of the leg in the hamstring muscles. This next stretch is one of my absolute favorites. I just find you get so much bang for your buck from doing it. So let's start out with our right leg going straight out in front of us. Your knee is going to make a 90-degree angle. Your left leg is going to go straight out to the side, and it should run parallel with your right lower leg. And then same idea, your left knee is also going to be at 90 degrees. From this position, you can lean forward towards that right knee, and you should feel a pull through your right buttock. Sometimes people need to kind of play with the angle that they're leaning at. I get more of a stretch going this way. Then you can lean backwards, and you should feel a pull more through your left hip flexor. And same idea, you can kind of play with the angle that you're leaning back at until you feel that gentle pull and hold. From there, you would just switch legs. So you can either reposition yourself, or something that's really easy and good for hip mobility is keeping your feet on the ground. You lift your knees up and you just rotate the opposite direction. Okay, we're going to go into one of my favorite back exercises. We're going to start on hands and knees. We're going to do something called cat-cow. So first you're going to round your back up towards the ceiling, bringing your chin in towards your chest, and then let your back hollow out. From there, you can come down into child's pose to bring your bum onto your heels, reach your arms forward, and get a nice stretch through the back. My last favorite exercise does require a piece of equipment. You're going to need a foam roller, and you're going to need a long one. If you don't have one, I will show you what you can do instead, but I do recommend everyone get one of these. It is so great whether you're an athlete or work at a desk. Almost all of my clients use this. So you just lay it flat on the ground. You're going to try and get your tailbone and bum supported at one end, and then you're going to lie back and rest your head at the other end. So a couple things. The foam roller automatically puts our spine into a perfect neutral alignment. The second thing is that gravity can now pull our shoulders down towards the ground to open up all of the tightness that we accumulate throughout the day. So it's kind of undoing the effects of gravity, which is great. You should feel a light pull through the pec muscles. If not, you can kind of play with the angle of your arms. So always keep your palms up towards the ceiling, but then you can pull your arms more out to the side and you may feel more of a stretch. If you don't have a foam roller yet, in the meantime, you can do a basic pec stretch. All you need is a corner. I'm going to use the one behind me. Your hands are going to go on either side of the corner, and then you're just going to lean your body straight in towards that corner, and you should feel a bit of a stretch throughout your pecs. If you weren't able to do any of the hip exercises I already showed, I am going to show you an alternative. It does require someone that can help you out. Also a great option if energy is an issue. So if you are someone where we need to conserve your energy before you ride, this is a good passive option. So your helper is going to grab your leg. You are going to stay completely relaxed. Don't do anything during this. They're going to lift your leg up just to the point where they feel, or maybe you feel, a little bit of resistance, and then come down working within that range. We can do the same thing, pulling out towards the side to help get those adductors warmed up. And then we'll get the hip rotations in. So I tend to keep the knee at about 90 degrees. You're going to push forward, out to the side, and back down. And then you would go the other way, so coming out to the side, and up, over, and down. Can also just help to loosen up the knees and ankles a little bit. Sliding the heel up towards the bum, just going in and out. Make sure you support the rest of the leg. And for the ankle, ideally you would make sure you go up and you can kind of do circles. The last thing is getting in our trunk rotation and side bend, which is very easy to do even if you can't get into a lunge position. You can just do it while sitting. I'm going to have Steve do it. He's going to cross his arms and just twist side to side. And now we're going to go into a side bend. So Steve is just going to reach one arm up and over and reach to the side to help open up side of his thorax there. And the other. In terms of stretching after your ride, you can do the same exercises, but just add a prolonged hold. Easy way to do it to save energy from your helper standpoint is just to rest your leg on their shoulder, and they can just lift up a little bit until they feel that resistance and hold there for 30 seconds. For this stretch, you're just going to push the knee towards the opposite shoulder. To stretch the ankle out, I get into a little bit better position just to help my own body mechanics. So your hand goes under the heel, your forearm is going to be flat against the bottom of the foot, and you're going to go into a side lunge to help pull the foot up. Okay, so next week will be the first video of the 10-week exercise program. I'm really looking forward to it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so that you can follow along. And make sure you do these warm-up exercises before the next video.